Hello everyone. So today I have been working on a drawing assignment. I'm taking a class called Drawing Workout, which is a year-long course run by artist and illustrator Cristobal Schmal, and I just signed up for the first module, which deals with abstraction and symbolism. I'm personally really interested in pushing my work more towards imagination and memory and abstraction, so I thought this course would be really helpful for me, and so far it's been really fun and playful. So the assignment today is to make a collage of some totems. We each made a totem from real still life objects we had around the house last week, and then this week we're looking at each other's photos of totems and then reducing those into shapes and mixing them into separate collages to see what new things we come up with. So I've been cutting paper of different colors, and I thought I might just come on here to chat. It's been a while since I've recorded a video of myself doing anything, and I thought maybe it would be nice to just come on here and have a little chat, because I really enjoy watching, or rather listening to other people's chats while I do my work. And so I thought perhaps I could do the same with all of you. So today is Lunar New Year. It is January 29th. It's the year of the snake, which is fun. I think snakes I sort of associate with Slytherin, perhaps being wily and cunning, but perhaps we could use more of that strategic energy this year. And I made a few red envelopes for an upcoming show. Every year, this organization called Grumpy Bird puts on a really fun red envelope show, and there's always like at least 100 plus artists who participate. Each artist can submit up to 3 envelopes, and people can buy each other's work, which is really fun. And so I participated for the first time last year, and this year I did it again and made 3 envelopes this time, and I've already sent them in, so I don't have that to show you, but perhaps I can put in some of the image clips while I edit this video. But yes, it's Lunar New Year, it's a new moon today, and it is heralding the start of a new beginning. And what I love about Lunar New Year is the fact that, our Roman calendar New Year has already passed on January 1st, but this is kind of a opportunity for all of us to begin again and to sort of reaffirm what each of us wants and what each of us intends to focus on and be and embody throughout the rest of the year. And I'll just pause here and pull up a daily calendar that I've been enjoying. So this is by a illustrator and writer in Korea. Her name is Gina or Gina Im. And so she has a lot of books that I really enjoy and still have to read. But yeah, this year I got a daily calendar by her, and what I really love is that each day there's some sort of intention to go along with it. And so today, for the Lunar New Year, this says in Korean, 새롭고 친숙한 나를 또 한 번 만나는 날. So what this translates to is, today is an opportunity to meet a newer, friendlier version of myself. And what I really enjoy is that it sort of anchors in the repetition and, the sense of self that we've already been cultivating, but gives us a chance to approach it with a little bit of a fresh mentality. And I really think that's what New Year is such a beautiful opportunity to do. So that's just something I wanted to share. And otherwise, I think I've been feeling compelled to turn on the mic, turn on the camera, and sort of speak to y'all more candidly, because I have been doing a lot of sharing on my newsletter. Well, it's both sharing and not sharing. There's aspects of the personal, but it's really meant for the participants' guidance. Before I get too in the weeds, I'll just sort of explain. So I've been running a daily challenge for the month of January on my newsletter, and it's called 31 Days of Creative Resilience. So it's a month-long creative journey with prompts themed around a different weekly theme. And I've really intentionally built up each prompt to build on the previous days and be a clear progression so that we can reflect on our creative practice and be able to weather the storms, so to speak, and be able to push our work and continue to make work while enjoying the process, which is so much easier said than done. And I've personally struggled with that a lot, but I've also seen a lot of growth and improvement over the years in my own relationship to art making, and so the challenge was born out of that sort of desire to share what I've learned and to hopefully create a framework for other people to be able to reflect on what they might need for themselves as well in a more gentle way. And so we're nearing the end of that. I just have my one final newsletter to write, which is sort of a reflection on the day. And I think overall, I would say, like, in the beginning, I was really jazzed because people were doing the prompts, they were sharing them in the comments, they were sharing them on Instagram, and I was just really surprised by the amount of people that wanted to join the challenge and, upgraded their subscription so that they could join and get access to all of the prompts. So yeah, New Year started off with a bang, as it usually does. And then I think by week 2, people's motivation, including my own, started to wane. Again, as it usually does with New Year's resolutions. I think it's that sort of like day 5, like day 6 hump is when that's just like when things start to really go south. So I think that I was starting to feel a bit down by week 2, that perhaps people weren't as into the challenge. I think I was also feeling a little burnt out myself. Well, I don't want to say burnt out, but I think I was starting to feel the perhaps unsustainable pace of the daily challenge. I think that my perfectionist tendencies were coming out, where I really wanted this to be like a really robust type of writing with the prompt and my own response to the prompt, and like well embedded research and examples of like why I thought this prompt and exercise was important. And it was just all too much. It's a little too much to expect for me to knock out of the park on my first try. And so I think a conversation I had with a fellow newsletter writer helped me realize that I was building a library, and this library can be ever changing and growing. And I'm not just building this for 1 year, I'm building it for many years to come, and I can keep refining it. And so this is really just the first iteration, so there's no need to have it be so perfect. And then, yeah, so the month continued on, and I started to feel less attached to, you know, whether people were able to follow the prompts in real time. I think I saw more folks sort of trickle in and go at their own pace, which was really a nice invitation for me to embrace my own pace of doing things too. But I will say, because I had committed to sharing this challenge daily, I was committed to doing the daily prompts at the pace that I had set for myself, because that's what I had outwardly committed to, and that's what people were paying for. And so I didn't really have the opportunity to slow down, but I did get to experiment with batching the prompts and maybe working on a few days of art at a time, and then, you know, writing maybe like 2 or 3 posts at one time by going to a cafe. And I think that was a nice opportunity too for me to sort of evolve how I work and be able to bring more focused energy to a specific part of the process. Yeah, by day 29 now, or day 30, like pretty much the end, I have been feeling, basically since last week, I've been feeling that I want to not be sharing daily online anymore. Like, that came very clear to me, that like this act of being so like visible or accessible online, well, it's not even that. I guess it's that I don't know, something about the daily pace just did not feel sustainable to me, and I could sense, I think the most important thing that I could sense that I wasn't liking was that the daily pace made my work a certain way. I think it just didn't allow my work to go deeper. And I could tell that I was rushing some of the prompts. Not the prompts themselves, but like my responses to the prompts. And it was just becoming routine in a way that I didn't love. I think that I was really craving a more slower paced, in-depth rhythm to my art. And I was curious to explore that, and I realized that was also severely out of my comfort zone. And, you know, my comfort zone is being online and showing up daily as if I was showing up to, you know, a corporate job, and being available for like the random fires or like comments that are coming through, and being responsive and being agile, and you know, all of these things are great. You know, there are a lot of helpfulness and necessity of moving quickly, but I was just so used to moving quickly that I think that I have been feeling very lost in terms of my ability to focus and go slow, and to have patience with myself while making art, which is something that I've always had trouble with, and I think it's coming to a head now that like I've set apart this time for myself to leave my day job and really focus on my art practice. I'd be doing myself a disservice to keep on operating the ways that I have been without exploring a different type of rhythm and seeing what that does for me and my art. So all that to say is that after, sharing online every day in January and feeling kind of too exposed, so to speak, I decided perhaps this February I think I still am. I am going to go analog and try to only use analog media and only consume analog media as well. And I think I have I've been trying to determine the specific limitations that I have, but I realistically will still, check my email and use the internet to sign up for real life events, but I am planning to take a pause from all social media. I want to only be reading physical books for the month. I especially don't want to look at inspiration online and read about other artists' current process online. I think I would rather look at that from the art books that I have, or the magazines that I have, or go out to events here in New York and see and hear from people in real life. But this is all because I love the internet, and I owe the internet so much of my own development as a person and as an artist. But I think that it really does prevent me from being able to go slower and to be more patient. And I feel this especially with AI, which I was using a bit to organize the prompts for the 31-day challenge, just to make sure that it was, in an effective order and kind of flowed seamlessly. So I was using it as a thought partner in that regard. But, the speed in which AI can come up with recommendations or decisions is frankly really makes one lose touch with their own sense of intuition and decision making. And I think as someone who can be more sensitive and sort of needs a lot more time to come to a decision that really rings clear, I think that this technological pace really puts me at odds with that kind of slowing down. All right, been rambling for a little bit, but I finished cutting up all the totem pieces, and then these two black and brown are my backgrounds. So now the assignment is to arrange the pieces in a way that just makes sense to me in an intuitive way. So I'll be playing with this as I chat. All right, so where was I? I've been realizing that I want more analog time and to be really comfortable in the boredom that can come with that analog time. And I've been grappling with how uncomfortable it makes me feel to be without the internet. And I think especially because I want to use it to look for references. I want to make sure, I want to go deep in a rabbit hole of researching something. I want to, speak with someone that I find inspiring. Like I don't want to miss out. Like there's such a clear sense of FOMO of like missing out on the zeitgeist of something. And I think I've grown to a point where these things are like I just feel a lot more that I don't care anymore. That I don't care as much if I'm missing out, and I think it's pointing to a fact of like how deeply I need this period of development and of embracing the fact that like I can, in my life circumstances right now, be less online, and that's such a thing that is not possible for the majority of people with their jobs and whatnot. So I don't want to waste a potential opportunity to be able to do that. So that's sort of the broad strokes of my intentions for February. I will not be writing newsletters, although I have quite a few things that I haven't shared there that I want to. I think I'm sort of putting aside a sense of business growth and all these things, and I am really going to focus on making work and trying to tackle some of the things that have been on my project wish list for a really long time. I have some ideas that I've been wanting to make for years that I just never devoted the time to, and I think the time is now. I think I'll either be exploring them and fully letting them go, or seeing them through, or at least starting to. And I think that I feel I feel nervous because it's just different. It's a different type of energy, and it's a different type of interaction with the world, and I do fear that I might feel quite lonely. But I think that I will be able to figure it out, and I plan to document the whole thing. Oh, I just had to answer the doorbell for a package, and I don't remember where I left off. But I think I was talking about my plans for February and to be more offline and to see what that is like. So yeah, I will plan to keep you updated, probably in March. And thank you for tuning in to this. I'm still getting comfortable with processing more openly and sharing my voice, so I thank you for being here to witness that journey, and I will see you next time.